Back again with another video. So we're just gonna jump right into it and talk about social anxiety disorder from the DSM-5. Okay, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders. Okay, so this is what your therapists use to come up with the diagnosis for that roadmap to aid in treatment and to bill, okay, insurance. Okay, so this is the diagnosis. Okay, first and foremost, I am not providing a diagnosis for anyone. I am just providing this for educational purposes. Okay, all right, so here are some of the outlines for social anxiety disorder. Okay, so social anxiety disorder is marked by fear of anxiety about one or more social situations in which the individual is exposed to possible scrutiny by others. Examples include social interactions, having a conversation, meeting unfamiliar people, being observed, eating or drinking, and performing in front of others. So something like giving a speech. In children, the anxiety must occur in peer settings and not just during interaction with adults. Okay, the individual fears that he or she will act in a way or show anxiety symptoms that will negatively evaluate. So will be humiliating, embarrassing, will lead to rejection or to offend others. Okay. The social interactions almost always provoke fear and anxiety or anxiety. In children, the fear and anxiety may be expressed by crying, tantrums, freezing, clinging, shrinking, or failing to speak in social interactions. Okay. The fear and anxiety is out of proportion to the actual threat posed by the social situation and by the socio-cultural context. All right. The social situations are avoided or endured with intense fear and anxiety or anxiety. The fear, anxiety, or avoidance causes clinical significant distress or impairment in social, occupational, or other important areas of functioning. So the anxiety, social anxiety becomes crippling to where maybe an adult can't go to work, the kiddos can't go to school, they have a fear of going to school. It becomes crippling, so they can't perform their daily tasks, okay, or daily obligations. The fear, anxiety, or avoidance is persistent, typically lasting for 6 months or more. Okay. The fear, anxiety, or avoidance is not attributable to the physiological effects of a substance. So this is not being caused by drug abuse or medication, because drug abuse or medication may aid in this, but this is a clear cut that it's not aiding in this or any other medical condition. All right. The fear, anxiety, or avoidance is not better explained by the symptoms of another mental disorder such as panic disorder, body dysmorphic disorder, or autism spectrum disorder. If another medical condition, Parkinson's disease, obesity, disfigurement from burns or injury is present, the fear, anxiety, or avoidance is clearly unrelated or is excessive. All right, so in those situations to where individuals, Parkinson, obesity, disfigurement from burns or injuries, of course, an individual like that, will or may have social anxiety because of the presentation of how they look. And performance only if the fear is restricted to speaking or performing in public. Okay, so that's more so the crippling thing, right? Because most individuals have some type of fear of speaking. I believe that's like one of the highest fears that was rated amongst like people in society is public speaking. But this is where it becomes crippling. Okay. So let's look at so now that we got the what the diagnosis may look like, the criteria for the diagnosis. What's some short-term goals? What's some things, coping skills that we could use? Planning what to say. So it's really good because it's something similar to, practicing for a job interview. like you don't really know the questions, but you practice for it, and you throw those curveball questions just to prepare yourself for the offhand questions, and then um, you go into the interview, and you feel more prepared, right? So as long as you kind of have that exposure, it's being exposed to it. As long as you have that exposure, it can help a lot of people. So it's just a preparation strategy. Having support of friends and family. So just being able to speak with someone about it, and then maybe you can do an assist, right? So maybe I have some social anxiety about a specific place, and I could use an assist or a person to go with me. And then as the more exposure that I get, I could potentially, um, be able to deal with that. Use that as a coping skill. Eating sometimes, so being able to have a comfort measure. Okay, so there's some of the things like some people worry about if I'm out in public, I'm eating, I'm kind of pigging out, or maybe people watching me. Being able just to kind of pace yourself to where socially you're eating, but you're managing in a way of increments. And so that would be more so a mental thing. Using questions, so conversation starters. So a lot of times, social interactions, they seem easier when other people are really engaging. So if we have to start the conversation and kind of keep it going, there may be some anxiety there socially. But some people like to talk. So a lot of times, asking people beyond the surface questions, usually we get longer winded responses, and then that person will get going, and then maybe we'll get into the groove of the conversation, and then we're not thinking about what's going on socially. Have an exit strategy. So, hey, if I go to this place, a specific place, and I'm having some anxiety about it, if things become overwhelming, how do I remove myself from the situation in a safe manner? So plan that out before I get there, so that way I feel like I have some control over it if if they don't go the way that I want them to go. And then pay attention to surroundings, so that way we're not caught off guard. And so it becomes a distraction technique. But I'm paying attention to everything that's around me. I know what's going on. I can kind of calculate or sometimes predict how interactions may go. But at least I'm observant. I'm not able to. I probably more than likely won't be caught off guard compared to if I don't really look at my surroundings, and then maybe someone come up to me and start talking. It's like, oh, I'm just kind of stuck there, right? So if I'm paying attention to my surroundings and I see this person walking towards me, I know, okay, maybe I'm about to engage in some conversation. So like, share, subscribe, hit that button for me, and get those subscribers up for me. Peace.